know maybe you've had experience with the transport system in Kenya, maybe moving from one place to another.
Yes.
Maybe you can just highlight maybe a few things about that.
Well, that is yet another, it's a monster. And it depends on many things, of course. I would say that even as we blame the transport sector, we also blame ourselves as persons with disabilities. More so those of us with visual impairment, because I belong there. I know much about that sector. Some of us who are in blindness, many things come with being blind. You could be independent or not. If you're not independent, then even maneuvering your way from one place to another, even in terms of transport, might be a big challenge. But if you're flexible, then you have an upper hand. But again, there are things that are out of control. They are beyond your control as an individual who is blind, no matter how flexible you are. Because unfortunately, we still have rogue drivers and conductors who may deliberately choose not to ferry you, so to say, because of your disability. Again, lack of information. Lack of information, because this conductor or driver has never come into contact with a blind person. Probably he's getting into contact with a blind person for the first time, and he's wondering, so he is in my vehicle. Where is he going to? Will he even be able to know where he is? Once he's going to Nakuru, for example, when we are in Nakuru, the moment he alights, does he know where he's going to after that? Yeah. So that is the problem. So probably sometimes they do these, they refuse to ferry you because they feel that it will be their responsibility for them to maybe even take you to your final destination, which is not true. So we still have a lot to do, by the way. There's a lot to be done, even in terms of the terrain. How comfortable or how good are the roads for a blind person to operate with his white cane? Do we have the sideways where the pedestrian paths where that are that can be that can be well used by a blind person? That is a challenge. So we still depend on the moment you alight, you are held by your hand by some stranger somewhere, takes you from one bus station to another. And now with the COVID season, it's more worse, because if there is someone who is more prone to COVID, is a blind person, because this blind person has to touch on many things. You get into a vehicle, you have to touch on the seat. You are trying to alight, you have to touch somewhere for you to alight. You are being guided by someone whom you don't know where he or she is coming from. This is just probably a volunteer somewhere who just saw you stranded and decided to help you out, regardless of his status. Yes, so it's a lot. It's a lot to be done. We've been trying to. I know of some initiatives where they have been trying to train conductors and drivers of notable matatu operators, your metros, and all that. They have been trying to train the conductors and drivers on how to handle a blind person. This is an initiative that I believe should continue, so that the message gets to as many matatu operators as possible, who will be able to then understand that blind people travel on their own, and you don't have to necessarily be with someone as a blind person for you to travel. Because sometimes they'll ask you, are you alone? Then you say yes, then they tell you wait for another car. He will tell you yangu imejaa, and it's not full. It's not full.
Because they know you want to.
So he tell you yangu imejaa. Yeah. Yes. So there's a lot to be done. Let me just say that.
So yeah, I'm really grateful for you telling us your story and highlighting some of the things maybe a person who is blind or generally persons with disabilities go through in Kenya. So our show is called The Bold Step. So I know up to where you are, you've maybe made several bold steps.
Yes.
So maybe you can just tell us one or two that stands out for you throughout your journey.
Bold steps. I've done a lot of things, I would say so, and I thank God because it came to a point where I realized nobody would come to my aid.
Yeah.
I have to stand up for myself, speak for myself, and ask for what I want and be able to get it.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of things in the disability sector.
Yeah.
And even in life as as a whole. But let me say that I'm a youth and disability advocate. I have chosen to be vocal on matters disability, especially relaying information, yes, which many institutions, for example, do not have on how to take care of someone who has a disability. Talk about disability as much as I can to the positive side. Try to emancipate my colleagues who have a disability from that kind of life that is considered improper, life full of uncertainties and desperation, yeah, to a life that is considered joyful. For example, I have participated in, in disability world, we seek for inclusion. We normally seek for inclusion. We ask to be included in many aspects of life. Yeah. I remember I contributed towards, I've contributed in the both national and global control of HIV. I've done this in many capacities. I have represented persons with disabilities in many conferences and fora that are meant to talk about matters HIV. Because matters HIV, again, in life of a blind person, it makes some sense. Yeah. There's a lot to be done so that we happen to be prone to HIV for many reasons that probably we'll find another show, yeah, to talk about it. But yes, I've contributed in the global and national and global control of HIV as a person with disability, trying to talk about disability and HIV. Yeah. How does HIV relate to disability? What happens that, for example, you have a disability? How close are you to contracting HIV if you have a disability? Yeah. So it's a whole topic that we might have to look for another show to talk about. Okay. Number two, as I've said, I'm vocal. I'm vocal, and anytime it is always a step for me. I consider it a step for me to be a good ambassador, yeah, of persons with disabilities. Be able to demystify bad things that many people attribute to disability. For example, must you be poorly dressed in the name of you are blind? I don't think so. Must you never participate or be in a relationship because you're blind? I don't think so. So those are things that I believe I have contributed in trying to demystify, trying to, make a statement out there that as a blind person, you can participate in all manner of things that are considered legal in our constitution. Yeah, fall in love, dress properly, and generally be a good ambassador. So there are quite a number of things, but I believe those at least stand out for me. Every time I wake up in the morning, yeah, I consider myself to doing things that positively portray the lives of persons with disabilities to the public. Yeah. Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. We are really grateful you coming. So maybe I can give you some few minutes for parting shots. Maybe you can talk to our viewers if you have anything.
Yes, viewers, as persons with disabilities and as people who are blind, we have come a very long way towards cementing good fare of success that you normally see in persons with disabilities whom you know out there, be it a blind person, be it someone who is deaf, be it someone who generally has any disability that you can note. So we have come a very long way, and what I can ask you is that do not attribute negative things to someone who has a disability. When you see someone who has a disability, treat him or her in the best way possible. Treat him or her in a manner that you would like to be treated today and in the near future. So appreciate diversity. Appreciate diversity at any given time. Disability, we normally say that disability, it is a class or it is a society where we don't encourage registration. We really do not encourage registration. It is not like a party, some political parties that are looking for you to register. It happens. It happens naturally sometimes. So we are all candidates of disability. Even out there, if you don't have a disability, you are a candidate of disability. We have so many persons with disabilities who, for example, lost their legs in a road accident, which I don't think you would wake up in the morning preparing to travel and you know that you are going to, you will be involved in a road accident. I don't think so. It happens just accidentally, as the term accident can mean. So let us treat all of us with respect. Let us always accept and recognize diversity at any given time, and pray for the best in our lives at any given time. Noting that one day you having a disability doesn't mean that something bad has happened to you. It is what I normally consider as the circumstances of nature. Those are the dictates of nature that might just befall on you. So as you are still okay, consider to always do good, because you do not know what will happen tomorrow. You cannot, for example, stay in a house 365 days because you fear something happening to you. You will have to be involved in so many things in life, and in the process you don't know what might happen. So always appreciate who you are and treat others who do not maybe in a way look like you. Treat them with respect. Otherwise, I wish all of you all the best, and let us always continue keeping hope alive. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. We really appreciate you Bet coming. We encourage our viewers to continue subscribing, continue sharing, because you never know, this story might touch another person's life, you know. So we are really grateful, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you, and stay blessed.
Stay blessed as well. And by the way, you are welcome to come back, and
Yes, yes.
maybe we discuss about the disability and HIV.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.